Hi guys. Welcome to our channel. Today, we discuss a movie where a tough actor gets a job as a character in a velvet costume to promote the hottest toy of the year, Pooka. It turns out that Pooka is not an ordinary doll, and it challenges his personality. Finally, the end of the story happens in a way that will definitely shock you. Check the title of the movie in the description. At the film's beginning, Wilson stares at a doll falling on the ground while blue and red lights are visible, and the doll keeps repeating this sentence. Look at all the pretty lights. After that, he finds himself in his newly moved apartment, and Mexican music from the neighbor's house attracts his attention. In a cafe, while he is sitting alone and thinking, someone asks him to take a family photo of them. Then after thanking him, he wishes Wilson a Merry Christmas. He returns to his apartment, he hears Mexican music from his neighbor's house again, and he meets an older kindly woman named Red, who invites him to her house. A photo frame of Red and her daughter attracts Wilson's attention, then informs her that he is an actor and has come here to experience a new beginning. Red tells him that this is your moment and it hasn't been lost on you. Then it seems that he is practicing for an acting test, and is trying day and night to succeed in this test and achieve his dream. On the day of the exam, when it's his turn, the lady in charge interrupts him immediately after he starts his performance and instead asks him to raise his arms, make a triangle with his hands, and fly around like an airplane. During this work, the employer named Finn accompanies him. After some repetitions, he emphasizes that Wilson is the one he needs and asks her to inform the others to return home. After passing this unusual test, Finn takes him to his office and shows him a plush doll named Pooka. Pooka repeats his words and Finn explains that he is a unique doll who can be unpredictable and has two personalities that selectively repeat what he hears with naughty or nice sounds.
Your life is about to change forever.
Ooh. Finn takes him to the warehouse, where he shows him a large plush Pooka outfit and informs him that it will be his job to portray Pooka in a large furry outfit in commercials and live appearances. At first, Wilson refuses to do this and says he is a professional actor, but since Finn likes his act, he convinces him to wear the costume. Wilson repeats the movements he did in the test. Suddenly, he feels strangely suffocated, has a panic attack, and doesn't want to accept the job. However, Finn convinces Wilson to sign the contract by offering a good salary and claiming that he will be the only actor in the role of Pooka and that no one will know his identity. He gets Pooka costume and puts it on his bed, and later, when he wears it at home, he messes up the house unnaturally and angrily. At the same moment, he enters the house and is shocked. When he checks his room, he sees that the costume is still on the bed. Red helps him tidy up the house and advises him to call the police because they both think a burglar broke into the house, but nothing was stolen from his house. Before leaving the house, she tries to comfort him with her words, but what is characteristic is that the costume is unusual. Wilson goes out to buy a Christmas tree and sees a woman there. He sneaky watches her as if he likes her. He presents Red with a Christmas tree, and after thanking him, when she asks Wilson about his work, he avoids giving the correct answer. After he leaves, strange noises are heard from the Christmas tree, which scares Red. Pooka is known as the most popular Christmas doll this year, and it is becoming so famous that Finn sells so many versions of this doll in his shop called Pooka Pop-Up that he earns a very high income. Finn announces that the dolls are out of stock and asks customers to return tomorrow for them. Ironically, among the customers, Melanie, a woman Wilson was interested in, is also with her son. After Finn realizes he likes her, he reaches out to her quickly and takes her business card. Finn gives it to Wilson in good faith, and when he goes home at night, he finds out by searching the internet that Melanie is a real estate agent. The next day, he makes a date with her as a client of that house. When they meet, Melanie introduces him to the house's unique features, and Wilson talks about his plans for arranging the house. He talks about his job and says that he is an actor. He respectfully invites Melanie to dinner, and Melanie also shows she feels good about him. Wilson explains Melanie's good qualities to Red as if he already knew her. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a hammer from his house and is surprised, while Red says she doesn't hear such a sound. He goes to his apartment to investigate this, and when he checks his room, he sees Pooka punching the wall with his naughty face and red eyes. He is shocked, and when he rechecks his room, he sees that there is no sign of him. Then he looks at his hand, which is terribly injured and bloody. He has to wear gloves on his dinner date with Melanie so she doesn't notice, and he lies that he burned his hand while cooking. When he walks Melanie home, they both admit that they had a good night, and Wilson is about to kiss her, but her son, Ty, is sneaking a peek at them from the window. When Wilson returns home, he puts Pooka's hat on again and masturbates while he is in a good mood, and his eyes are blue. It is quite clear that his character has become entangled with Pooka so that when he wears his naughty outfit with his red eyes, he is prone to violent outbursts and hallucinations, after which he has no memory. The next day, Wilson takes a Pooka from Finn and wraps it as a gift to give to Ty to make him happy. Ty takes the gift, and when he opens it, he is surprised that Wilson brought him a Pooka.
Thank you, sir!
Wilson! Call me Wilson.
After that, he and Melanie seem to get closer emotionally. She appreciates his kindness, something Ty's father never had. When Wilson tries to find out more about him, Melanie seems reluctant to talk about him. At the end of a working day, he thanks Finn for everything, wears that costume again, and returns home in a good mood. He suddenly changes his mood and goes towards Red with anger and rage, as it is clear from the sounds that he is killing her. After doing this, he doesn't sleep until the morning, so he decides to find out what the truth is, and to his surprise, he realizes that Red is healthy and even invites him to her house. While talking to her, Wilson admits that he is not feeling well and is hallucinating and losing control. He says that having this good job and Melanie makes him feel good, but some things confuse him. Then Red says, "We are wrong. Now try to make the right choices because this is all you have."
Make good choices now.
Wilson goes Christmas tree shopping with Melanie and Ty, and she informs him that she plans to throw a small party for Ty. Then he asks someone to take a family photo of them, just like he did before. At night, Ty tells him that he knows everything about what he does to impress them and says you need just to be kind and be around. Then Wilson promises to show him the real Pooka, and Ty is excited about it. When he turns on the lights of the Christmas tree, he has a hallucination and sees that Ty asks him in a naughty voice, "Do you want to hurt my mom?"
Are you going to hurt me?
Are you going to hurt
My mom.
In this case, Wilson wakes up in the middle of the night and sees the light of the police car in his room. He checks outside, but the source of this light is unclear, so he searches for it in his room. Strangely, he sees a corpse under the sheet with black blood coming out from under it. After removing the sheet, he sees a replica with a hole in his head and black blood coming out of it. At the same time, Pooka appears with fiery and terrifying eyes and scares him. Wilson suffers from constant hallucinations again. The next day, Melanie scolds him a little for making a promise to Ty about showing him Pooka. Still, he says that he has his connection, that his promise was not a lie, and that he will fulfill it. On the party day, he does this to make Ty and his friends happy. After that, the absence of Ty's father figure at the party causes one of his friends to point this out to him and comment that everyone knows why his father isn't there. This causes Wilson to turn into a mischievous Pooka, and as the room turns red, he attacks the boy, and Ty is horrified by this. Melanie still doesn't know that Wilson is Pooka, and when Wilson visits them at night, Ty informs him that he saw what he did and is pretty sure who he is, then leaves. Melanie is upset that a child was assaulted by someone dressed in Pooka and talks to Wilson about it. He blames her for worrying and becomes very angry, and his behavior frustrates her. He then sees that the Christmas tree they bought together is missing and accuses Melanie of taking it, thinking she doesn't trust him. She doesn't know what tree he's talking about and asks him not to be so aggressive with her. However, Wilson still believes she's hiding the truth and thinks she's still in a relationship with her ex-husband. Wilson's bad behavior makes her ask him to leave. When he returns home, it is clear that he is so attached to Pooka's dress that sometimes he can't even breathe without it. He sees a picture frame that shows that the Christmas tree never existed. On the other hand, Pooka's toys suffer from massive technical glitches, causing all the toys to only repeat the distorted phrase in Pooka's voice. "Look at all the pretty lights." The popularity of these toys decreases to the point where Finn is forced to close the store and ask Wilson to return the costume. Wilson does not want to lose his job, and the only reason is his dependence on that costume, but Finn is forced to take it from him by force and advises him to leave the city for a while to change his mood. He feels bad without it, then decides to go to the house where he met Melanie in the first place. When he sees her, she runs away and mysteriously disappears a few seconds later. Wilson hears a sound and follows it. He sees the Christmas tree with black blood coming out of it, and in one of the rooms of the house, he sees Pooka on the bed with black blood coming out of her mouth, and he is terrified. Then he goes to Red and sees her with a wound on her forehead that says it's time to go, and when he tries to open the door again, the door is closed tightly. He comes to the conclusion that he can't live without Pooka, so he goes to him and steals it. While Pooka is in a good mood, he records a message apologizing for his past behavior and then leaves it in a box for Melanie in front of her house. She is disturbed and looks out the window and sees Pooka looking at her across the street. A pedestrian then engages with Wilson and grabs Pooka's head, exposing Wilson as Pooka to Melanie. She now realizes he was wearing the Pooka costume, which disappointed her. After this incident, Wilson's hallucinations get worse and worse. When night falls, he arrives at his apartment building and discovers that Red has fallen from the 5th floor and been killed. Observers and investigators say that it was an accidental death due to Red's drunkenness. Still, when he looks up, he sees that her room is red, so he becomes suspicious and decides to check her house. There, Wilson is attacked by Pooka, who has fiery eyes and shows him the photo they took together, except that Wilson is not in it, and Pooka tears it up. Pooka vomits black blood on him, and a little later, after he cleans his face, there is no trace of him. He immediately calls Ty, and while Ty informs him that they will buy a Christmas tree, Wilson warns him that they are in danger, then suddenly hangs up. Wilson makes his way to the farm and plans to defend Melanie and Ty from Pooka after arming himself. He spots Pooka and surreptitiously watches him until he attacks him with an axe in time and brutally strangles him, apparently killing him after bringing him to his knees.
You are not going to hurt anyone.
When he goes to Melanie's house, it seems that she doesn't live there anymore, and he sees 2 old men sitting on a chair from behind the window. He calls Melanie, but her number is unavailable. He goes to the house where he met her for the first time, and upon entering there, he sees the truth of his past. Wilson and Melanie were actually husband and wife and lived together in that house. Wilson in the Pooka costume watched as past Wilson, prone to violent outbursts, destroys the Christmas tree and breaking it in half while Ty watches from the doorway. Past Wilson pleads with Melanie and Ty to go to the tree lot and get a new tree with him, causing Pooka Wilson to plead to past Melanie to not listen to his past self as he watches the final scene play out, but she cannot hear him. Wilson sees the call he made to Ty the night before that warned him that they are in danger, but he can't do anything, and he can't stop them from leaving the house, and he deeply regrets it. During the drive, Melanie tries to distract Ty from Wilson's crazy driving by saying, "Look at all the pretty lights."
Look at all the pretty lights.
Still looking at Melanie and Ty in the rearview mirror, he gets into a terrible head-on crash with another car. He is thrown from the car, and Melanie and Ty are killed after the car explodes. He sees that the driver of the other car is Red with her daughter, both of whom have been killed. Wilson is the only survivor of the accident. While shocked and badly injured, then some rescuers, one of whom is Finn, come over to him. It turns out that these were all hallucinations of him while he was dying, but now he is alive. At the movie's end, the voice of Ty's toy, Pooka repeats, "Look at all the pretty lights."
Look at all the pretty lights.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.